Okay, we need to find the equation of the line passing through the two ordered pairs 2, 5 and 5, negative 6. My first piece of advice is every time we see the directions to find the equation of the line, we should always start with the following equation: y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. It's called the point-slope form of a line. It's both our starting point and it's where we're going to plug things into for our answer. Right after that, the next thing we're always going to need to find is to find the slope. So let's find the slope m. Okay, in this particular problem, we're going to find the slope using the formula for the slope between 2 points, using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So it doesn't really matter who you call the first point and who you call the second point, but I think it makes the most sense to call 2, 5 the first point, x1, y1, and 5, negative 6 the second point, x2, y2. So for our slope formula, that would look like this. Let me actually go down here. That would look like y2 minus y1 would be negative 6 minus 5. And since we started with the y value of negative 6 in the top, we must start with his partner 5 in the denominator. So that will be x2 minus x1 will be 5 minus 2. Okay, let's simplify. Negative 6 minus 5 is negative 11, and 5 minus 2 is 3. So we have the lovely slope of negative 11 thirds. Okay, now third step. We're going to plug in our slope of negative 11 thirds and one of our ordered pairs, either 2, 5 or 5, negative 6, into our point slope equation. So that could look like one of two things. If we decide to use 2, 5 for our x1, y1, it'll look like this. Y minus y1 is 5 equals m. So I'm going back to this equation right here. y1 was 5. M is our negative 11 thirds times the quantity x minus, finally, x1, and x1 is 2. Okay. If we had wanted to, we could have done the same process, plugging in x is 5 and x1 is 5 and y1 is negative 6. It would get us the same final answer, although this step will look very different. The last thing you're going to do in either case is you're going to isolate y. Okay, so we'll take the negative 11 thirds and distribute it through the parentheses. So we have y minus 5 equals negative 11 thirds times x is negative 11 third x. When I multiply the negative 11 thirds by the 2, I kind of prefer to see it as a 2 over 1. So negative 11 over 3 times negative 2 over 1 is positive 22 over 3. Almost done. To isolate the y, we're going to add 5 to both sides. Now, the y minus 5 and the y plus 5 is nice because that just cancels to y. The negative 11 thirds x is not like terms with anything else on the right-hand side. However, this negative 22 over 3 and the plus 5, that can be combined. So I'm going to write plus 22 over 3 and then plus 5. Okay, in order to combine those two, they're two fractions, so I would prefer to see them written like that. So 22 over 3 plus 5 over 1. And the common denominator here is a 3, so I'm going to multiply the top and bottom of the 5 by 3, turning this into 15 over 3. Okay, so now I have y equals negative 11 thirds x plus 22 thirds plus 15 thirds. And when I combine those two terms, I get y equals negative 11 thirds x plus 37 over 3. And I'm finished.